If you've ever felt like you need to get help in your balloon business, a lot of people start with trying to outsource the balloons, people to do the deliveries, the building. I actually think that that's really hard. And instead, I recommend that you start with outsourcing all of your computer admin work. It's a lot easier to teach someone how to sell balloons than it is to teach them how to build balloons. So, today's episode is one of my favorites because I am interviewing and having a conversation with my virtual assistant, Nicole, and we are talking through how we work together and how she has essentially taken over all of the sales, all of the admin, and all of the email so that I can do the part that I actually like, which is the installations and the deliveries. This has freed up so much time in my life, and I have been told to hire help on repeat for years. But I find that it's difficult to know how, especially when you're talking about turning over your sales, allowing someone to talk to your customers, having access to your email, knowing your pricing. There is a lot of trust, and we did not get it right at first. We kind of went through some clunky revisions, but we're talking about all of it in this week's episode. So let's jump right into it and chat with my assistant, and her own business is called Let Nicole Help. My good friend, Nicole, and she is also talking about some exciting new services that she has available to you as well. Welcome back, Nicole from Let Nicole Help.
Hello?
You are an outstanding service provider. We are chatting about all those services that you provide today, but we're also going to talk about the services you provide for me, which I do not believe are available to just like everybody out there, but you're essentially my virtual assistant. And I like kind of talk about you sometimes cryptically because I don't know how much you want people to know, but
Yeah.
you are my virtual assistant, even though we're friends in real life. And today we're going to talk about how someone could onboard an assistant of their own, because I think it's
Yeah.
tricky. I think it's not super self explanatory. Before we do that, give yourself an introduction.
Yeah, I am Nicole from Let Nicole Help, as you said. And a lot of people know me for working at 17 Hats and helping set up 17 Hats. I also help with some email marketing and have a couple of tools that I'm building for the balloon people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
me.
you're like the systems girly. You are not a
I'm
balloon
obsessed.
person,
I'm not a balloon person.
but very well versed. And
Yeah.
I've told this story 1,000 times, but we'll tell it again.
Yeah.
We used to work together at the same university, and kind of right at about the time my business was ramping up, you were, how would you explain it? You just wanted to dabble in something else.
Yes. Yeah, I was I could just I felt the need to have a business of my own. I was like, "Sarah has one. Let me just hang out with her."
Literally, that's what we did. We
That's
just like
essentially
worked together outside,
yeah,
like side by side.
yeah, yeah. So, I don't know. I don't even know if I knew what I was looking for, at the time. I just knew I wanted to have something of my own, and and then, yeah, like, I don't know, I guess we got to talking about systems and 17 hats, and I just looked at it and it kinda clicked for me, and then you graciously you know, introduced me to your balloon friends and
Here
went
you
from
are.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
do 17 hat setups, but you
yeah,
do more than that. And I think, kind of we're going to talk about like how someone can have a virtual assistant. I
yeah.
My preference is to hire someone you know. So I think the word virtual assistant, it's pretty broad, and I think it can be anything from like our situation where like you live 45 minutes from me and we
Yeah,
know each other and we're actual friends.
yeah.
But you work remote. Like, you're never here, you don't come to my balloon shop and have an office. So to me, that's a virtual assistant, but it could also be like someone you'd never met in the Philippines, which
Mhm.
to me seems much more overwhelming. What would your advice be if someone is like, "I have to get admin help, emails are killing me, I need someone to take over some of the non-balloon stuff." Where should they start? And we can just kind of spitball ideas because we obviously don't
Right.
have this down to a science. We've just found something that works, but I'm curious from the assistant side what you would recommend.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I would say for starters, if you're not comfortable having someone talk to your clients on your behalf, just start with maybe having the virtual assistant, you know, have access to your inbox and say, okay, this one really needs replying today, or let me draft this invoice for this order. Things like that behind the scenes, maybe not client facing right away. If
Yeah.
that's probably a more comfortable first step than jumping right into this is my salesperson.
Yeah, yeah, and I think, it's hard to I think the first step is maybe identifying, like, where you even are overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like, do you need someone talking to your clients? Do you need someone answering phones? Do you need someone responding to leads? Um,
Mhm.
and I guess let's maybe talk through kind of what we do, like what
Yeah.
works for us. Again, this might not
Yeah.
work for other people, but this works. I think what I saw in Nicole, again, because I knew her not only as a friend, but like as a professional, as a coworker, she's super detail oriented, didn't make mistakes. You managed like $1 billion of budget items. I mean, like you look at spreadsheets all day, you much more detail oriented than I am. So I obviously trusted your like ability to do the job, and that was maybe one advantage that I had over someone else. I guess that's maybe a tip too. If you have a
Mhm.
day job, poach people. Like if they want a side hustle and you can like already see that they're good at their real job, that to me was like the
Yeah.
first step. I fully bypassed the like, are you smart or are you not? Like I knew you were. So that was kind of the first step. I think hire people you know.
Mhm.
But the real kind of like what do we do? I think that's the question that I couldn't get answered for a long time. People were like, just hire help. And it was like, literally how? Hire help to do
Mhm.
what? I don't
To do what?
understand.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
system, it starts with 17 hats. Um, which is my CRM, and you have access to that. I have
Mhm.
access to that. And kind of when a lead comes in, my job now is just to check a box, and that's my favorite part. It says, "Is Sarah
Yeah.
available?" And that's the first step in the to-do list. So I look at my calendar and I just check yes. And from
Mhm.
there, you kind of take over. So why don't you talk about
Mhm.
your steps?
Yeah. So I see then in the pipeline, that a tag has been applied for me to take over,
Yeah, you
and
did all that. I don't know what that means. Nicole did all of that.
but, that's how I get notified, or, I go in and check and I see them there. Then I, review the inquiry, see if they've got a picture uploaded, and then from there, I'm just using your template that you already had in place, like, "Yes, we're available. Here's our pricing guide. What do you want?" type of thing.
Yeah, so
And
that just to clarify for people who maybe aren't familiar with 17 hats, like you can
yeah.
save emails basically because I was saying the same thing to every client, like we're either available or we're not. Do you want this or do you want this? Linking to the
Mhm.
same menu. So Nicole was
Yeah.
basically able to kind of take over that communication. But as herself, I think that's a clarifying point.
Yeah.
At the beginning when we started, it's like, are you pretending to be me or are you
Mhm.
your own person? Like what? And it
Mhm.
seemed to work really well to just be your own person. Like you're responding as Nicole. You have your own signature that goes out. You have your own title. What do we even call you right now? Booking specialist?
Booking specialist.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
like
Yeah.
that was kind of clunky at the beginning too. Like people thought they were talking to me, but it was like, well, I'm the one who's going to do the balloons, but Nicole is the one who's going to book you. And I had some reservations about that because it was like, well, people know me. They're used to
Mhm.
me. And now I'm like, I don't want people to know I exist until I get there. And it's been wonderful. And half the
Yeah.
people call me Nicole, and I think it's so funny. I'm
Oh,
like,
funny.
hi. I respond to it. I'm like, whatever, hi. But it is hard to remove yourself from your own business, but it's really,
Yeah.
really freeing. So you kind
Right.
of go back and forth via email.
Yes. Yep. And I
And
do have the support inbox, which is maybe another thing to point out. It's another like user on your workspace.
yep,
Um,
that was
so that's how I have my own email. But
that was something too that we had to figure out too in the beginning.
yeah.
That was pretty clunky.
Yep.
So in Google, you can upgrade and have like Google Workspace. So that's how you get the like at wisconsinballoondecor.com email. Before
Yeah.
I was running everything through a Gmail account. So now I'm Sarah at wisconsinballoondecor.com and your support at
Support.
wisconsinballoondecor.com.
Uh-huh.
So even though the initial inquiry comes through 17 hats, you have your own email and you're going back and forth. The thing that we figured out was an issue pretty quickly was that people would respond to the email they had been talking to, which was support, and they
Mhm.
might be like, "Hey, heads up, our event got moved. Hey, heads up, um, we're
Yeah.
canceling," or and it would only go to Nicole. So I had to figure out how to have all those emails forwarded. So I can see everything that you are doing back and forth with a client. I just don't
Mhm.
get involved. But it's good to
Mhm.
know those last minute emails. Like I'm not going to miss something important if someone emails you at 8 a.m. on a Sunday because Nicole's not sitting at her
Yeah.
computer talking to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, so that was a big piece that we did have to figure out, but, um, so yeah, I'm going through email, with them to kinda decide on the design. Of course, like, if they've mentioned something specific in their inquiry, I always try to, like, reference that right away in the reply and, get the marquees checked if they've requested those,
Mhm.
just to check to make sure that we have availability, and then yeah, we'll go back and forth and just try to really, give recommendations. What has helped me in terms of giving recommendations is that you have a nice, tidy product list, and it's easy for me to, like, I mean, certainly over time, I've learned so much about all the different product types anyway, but you don't have like 50 centerpieces and 25 different columns and things. Not to say that you can't create them and don't create them for special jobs, but just having that smaller list of things that I can suggest was a huge help because I just didn't feel overwhelmed and like I would do something wrong.
Yeah.
If I suggested one style of column that wouldn't actually look good because I'm not a designer, so as long as I can match freeform with freeform styles, unless they specifically request otherwise, like I think that is such a huge help to,
Yeah. I think
you know,
that's the biggest question. Well, actually, the other biggest question that I get is, do you talk on the phone to people?
I do not.
Nope.
Nope.
Nicole, from the
Nope.
beginning,
Nope.
she's like, "I will not talk on the phone to people." So, anytime someone requests a call, both of us are like, "Ah," because I know I have to do it and it's annoying. But you can have a virtual assistant that's just via email. Like, you
Yeah.
never talked on the phone to a client.
Never. No. No.
And then the other biggest question is what you just mentioned. It's like, how does someone who doesn't know balloons know what to sell? And I mean, I think the product list for me is the key, and I think the narrow product list is the key to running a profitable business. Like, I
Yeah.
will die on that hill. I talk about it all the time. But from a sales point of view, I don't know how you do it another way. Like, if everything is custom, you can never remove yourself from the sales process.
Yeah.
Versus, like, you basically can read my mind now. If someone is having a 50th birthday party, what's the first thing you're going to recommend?
50 marquees.
Yes, because they make a
Light up
ton of
50
money, like, I
marquees.
have
Yeah.
rentals.
Yeah.
If someone is yeah, if they're like, "We're having a grand opening outside these 2 double doors," like, what are you gonna recommend?
Arch for
Yes,
sure.
like, it's
Maybe
not
columns as well.
yes! Yeah,
'Cause it would
so it's
really look
like
great and help bring the, decor forward
I
and
know,
the
I think, like, we as balloon people love to think that we have this, like, magical creative touch, and we do, but the items are the same. You can do a
Yeah,
column 500 different ways, you can do an arch 500 different ways.
yeah,
And you don't have to be a balloon person to identify what works best with different situations.
yeah.
Pricing, I think, is another issue that people question. What has been helpful for you in terms of pricing? Quick pause, because if you're running a small business and you feel like your brain is holding open 1,000 tiny tabs, this is for you. One of the biggest shifts that I've made in my business and that I've seen successful decorators make over and over is moving from doing everything manually to having a real system behind the scenes. That's why 17 Hats is our exclusive YouTube sponsor for 2026. 17 Hats puts your inquiries, contracts, invoices, questionnaires, emails, and workflows all in one place, so you're not chasing clients, forgetting follow ups, or reinventing the wheel every single time someone books. Instead of asking, "Did I send that and what comes next?" your business just works. The best part, it doesn't make your business feel more robotic. It actually frees you up to do things that you're meant to do, like be creative, work with clients, spend time with your family, and all with less stress. If you're ready to stop duct taping systems together and start operating like a real business, head to 17hats.com to check it out. Once you have a system, everything else gets easier. All right, let's jump back in.
Yeah, so, we have the inventory list and or products and services list inside 17 Hats, of course, so, when we start typing, it just pulls right up, but we also
Yeah,
share that Google sheet, which I think was Google Doc, which was helpful at least at first, just
because
to
there are like
have
weird
this.
items, like
Yeah,
what is a
yeah,
helium number and what, like, things I don't even remember. And Nicole has built her own spreadsheet because she's awesome. But I like what you just said. That's a huge feature. Again, this isn't a 17 Hats commercial. We just love it and use it, and it connects us. That's how we kind of store information. You can store your product. So when you go and type in Arch, the price that's saved comes up. So like
Yeah.
once you kind of nail that down, it's stored in there. So that kind of helps us be on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm never having to, because you've got the multiple sizes of arches and
Mhm.
styles, of course. So yeah, all the prices are just pulling up, and I never really question them, of course, unless it's like a repeat job that those type of scenarios maybe get different sometimes. But
Yeah.
you're always
Yeah, and
telling
it just
me if that's the case. So
we just had one. And that's nice too because anything that we've ever sent an invoice for, like I was able to tell you like, "Hey, can you dig back and find last year's invoice for this event
yeah,
and update it?" Just they want the same thing. Can you just duplicate it but
yeah,
change the marquees that they're renting? They want it to say this instead of that. And
yeah,
Nicole can kind of get that queued up and then I can check it over and I can send it. Sometimes I just have her send it. The ultimate goal is for someone to inquire, me to check the box saying I'm available, and then I don't think about it until I see the little notification that they've paid. Like when
yeah,
that happens, and it happens a lot, Nicole's job is working well. My life is amazing. I remember the very first time it happened, I was actually driving and it was early on and I actually had reservations. I was like, I don't know if this is going to
yeah,
work. Like it feels like more work at the beginning and I'm nervous
yeah.
and ugh. And I was driving to do delivery and I got like a notification from 17 Hats being like so and so just paid you $800. And I was like, I don't even know what that's for. Like, I don't know what she sold. I don't know when it is. I just know that I said I was available. And
Yeah,
that to me was like the puzzle piece that made it all feel worth it. That like someone
yeah,
else can literally be making you money while you're out doing balloons.
yeah.
So I'm a huge fan of onboarding an assistant and getting all of the computer work taken off your plate. Not all, but a
Hmm.
lot, most.
Hmm.
Because I think the advice I hear is people always trying to offload the balloons, but like that's the part I actually like. Like I
Hmm.
like seeing the final product. I like delivering. That's the part that's really, really easy for me. Like I can kind of figure it out on the fly and wing
Yeah,
it and MacGyver a rigging solution. That feels a lot harder to train than someone who's smart being able to respond to client emails. So
yeah, yeah,
I love that it works out. One more thing that
yeah,
I wanted to touch on too, because I think we use it a lot, is in workspace, when you have an email for another person, you actually have like that chat feature. And we use that a
yeah.
lot too because it keeps all of our business chatting like in email. I don't know. How do you explain that? It's like,
Yeah. Maybe in the workspace. Well, yeah, like chat is just naturally available in the inbox.
yeah.
So we're
Like you
like,
have your
you can
inbox
even.
open and there's like a little
Hmm.
chat on the side where me and Nicole are chatting. So we
Yeah.
can like quite frankly, talk shit about clients, um, without having to like, I don't wanna accidentally respond to an email
Yeah.
and copy the client on there being like, "Whatever, just end
Get
it.
rid
This
of this
person's a
person.
pain in the ass." I
Yeah.
will say that in the chat because it's like there are times when I'll kinda peek in and be like, "Okay, I need to step in because
Yeah.
Nicole's trying to be a great assistant here, and this person is just dragging their feet and being dramatic and being annoying and not confirming and nickel and diming." That's where as the owner, I think I do sometimes have to step in and be like, "We're no longer available. We're booked."
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
nice to have kind of that sidebar, that chat, without it being
Yes.
text messages because I think we both like kind of that natural boundary that it's set. Like,
Yeah.
the only thing is I wish I could delay send because sometimes I'll think
Uh,
of something I need to tell you at like 10 p.m.
yeah.
and I hate that you're getting that notification, but I
Uh,
know that I'll forget if I
yeah.
don't send it. And we
Right.
email
Right.
as well, but
Hmm.
texts are kind of more for like, "Hey, you want to get together for lunch?"
Yeah. 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 That does work really nicely because then, like, I've noticed recently too, you can take an email and like attach it to the chat. So I can
Oh,
say,
yeah.
like,
I've
what
noticed
about
that
this
you do that
question?
as well. I don't know how to do
Yes.
that, but I just see it's nice because I can see what you're referencing.
Yes. Right. Without me having to type out the whole scenario,
Yeah,
to explain it fully. So, yeah,
yeah.
that's been cool too. And, your point about like this person is, hemming and hawing over this option and that option or whatever. It's pretty rare that they're doing that specifically because you have such, like a condensed
Mhm.
product list. But like, and like I think if I were having to explain the different column types, we'll just keep on columns, like, that's just so much back and forth and, like, decision fatigue for the client.
Yeah.
I mean, that is how I would be, ordering, balloons as a client. I'm like, "They're all great. I don't know, just whatever."
Yeah, you're like, "I don't care." Yeah.
Yeah, just so that would be me as a client, just like, just here's my theme, here's my budget, like, just make it look nice. And so that's maybe me personally, but, I think me then as the VA is just offering, "All right, here's what we got, like, it's
Yeah.
gonna look gorgeous no matter what." So, I again, just like that trimmed product list that you have is majorly helpful.
Yeah. Okay, let's boil it all down. I think
Yeah,
step 1, find someone you like who's smart.
yeah,
I think that's
yeah,
harder to do if you're hiring someone from overseas that you've never met, but it's totally possible.
yeah,
The other thing to worry about with a virtual VA, like really in a different area, is like time zones. Like if they're
yeah,
not awake when your customers are, that's going to be really hard. So
yeah,
I think there are plenty of stay at home moms looking for a remote side hustle. There
mhm,
are people who work a job who want to double dip. They sit at an office all day and they can easily respond.
yeah.
Find someone smart.
And I would say too, just from your interview with Mom's Closet the other week,
Yeah.
um, their tip on, like, somebody who is always looking to help, like, looking, "How can I help next? How can I help next?" I thought that was a
Yes.
really good tip too, and not someone just, like, sits on their hands and waits to be
Yes.
told what to do.
To be
So I
instructed.
like that tip as well. Yeah.
Yes. Um, I think you have to have some sort of a CRM in place. We recommend 17 Hats. Nicole can get you set up with 17 Hats if you don't have it. But that ultimately, you need something digital to connect the two of you. If you're writing stuff on a paper calendar, you literally can't have someone help you. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way for them to do anything.
No.
Um, I think maybe set some boundaries. Like you from the beginning were very much like, I'm not going to talk on the phone to people. I don't want them to have my cell phone.
Yeah.
That was great. And then I think that product list and then just do it. Like, that's the
You
hardest part is
just do
just
it.
letting
Yeah.
someone take over. You're not gonna have someone, like, ruin your business in the course of a month. They might respond in a way you don't love, they might use wording
Mhm.
you don't love, but I think just letting someone start. We weren't perfect. I mean, we were pretty clunky in the beginning.
Yeah, I have so many questions because and maybe that's my nature too, but I just don't want to mess things up. And I certainly never want to, like, undercharge. That would be like
Yeah,
the last thing I'd want to do. So I think another piece of maybe what we figured out earlier on too was in your, like, invoice template, having, here's the default delivery fee, here's the default, like, takedown, so that I can't miss those. You
yeah,
know, just having
and
some things, like, baked into the template so that they cannot be missed. Like, how easy would it be for someone to just like, "Oh, yeah, takedown, like, I didn't bill for that," and now I
me,
would have
I never bill for that. I am the one who breaks all my own rules. Like, I love what you just said, baked into the template. There and you have, like,
Yeah,
little things in blue. It's like, if this is a marquee, up it $40 minimum because
yeah,
now we know I'm paying someone else to go get those. There has to be that fee built in, otherwise I'm literally losing money
yeah,
on that takedown.
yeah.
And I will say Nicole is the enforcer of my rules. I forget I have a minimum. I forget that I say I don't rent marquees outside of my county. I forget all the things. And she's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Oh, shoot. I forgot that." Like, I am my own worst employee far and away. I break all the rules. I make my life hell. I will overbook, and Nicole is there to just tell me the things that I told myself, and I forget. But
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot, I know, but
it is a lot. I am a lot. All right. Other things I had on my notes.
yeah.
What are a couple things that, as your, I don't want to say boss, that's ridiculous, but as the person who's making your life horrible, um, what are things that I can do that help? And what are things that I do that you're just like, just stop it, Sarah? Like, we've touched on some of them, but like the short list,
Yeah.
maybe for someone who's looking for like setting boundaries for themselves.
Well, the things that help, um, I mean, and we're talking about boundaries, so you do the fact that you were willing to, like, keep everything in chat, and not text. I think it took us a minute to figure that out, but then
Hmm.
eventually you were like, "You know what? Let's do this," because, you were being mindful of that boundary. But, um, I mean, I'm gonna have to say the product list again. I just it's such a key part because I just would be so overwhelmed, I think, if I didn't have that. I think also just patience at the beginning. Um, just having patience in what you did, and I'm sure that I annoyed you with some of the questions at first as I was getting to know things, but I think that's what makes it easier, at first.
Yeah, no, not at all. You never annoyed me. If anything, I was like, "I look like such a fraud. She's gonna think I'm such a joke." Like, I don't know any of the answers to any of these questions. Okay, things I
Um,
do where you're just like, "Stop it. I won't be offended."
it is the breaking of your own rules. It is, yeah. The other day it was the marquise. Um, but like, yeah, it's hard. And like honestly, if I'm honest, I probably have not noticed it every single time and just like let them book wherever. Um, so if I'm being honest right here on the podcast, but yeah, it would be the breaking of the own rules, which just kind of makes me second guess. Next
Yeah,
time, okay, well, what do I do next time? So
exactly, right. I'm confusing you. I'm like, "Oh, never do this," and then I'm like, except when I just randomly decide."
yeah,
Um, and we
yeah,
actually one of the things that I get frustrated at myself is when I get in the way and do your job poorly. Like I'll get a lead and it's like, "Oh, I know this person. I'm just going to respond." But all of a sudden now I'm fully in charge of doing the thing that not only you're better at, but I'm also paying you for. And then I
yeah,
cut you out of the loop and then I'm making mistakes. I literally just did it today. So I'm really trying to stick to just clicking the box saying that I'm available. But I think the thing we chatted about before we even started recording is that maybe we need another box that's like, yes, but. And then
yeah,
maybe I type little notes because sometimes I'm like available, but not at that time and not for what they want. And I just have comments. So I
yeah,
think if I check that box and it tags Nicole and then she can go because I don't want to say, yes, I'm available. And then you book it. It's like, oh, I meant I was available the day before if they don't do helium and if they do it indoors. Like, that's
yeah,
not fair to set you up for failure,
yeah.
so I think some of those little notes,
Hmm.
it could be a little tweak, and we've been doing this now for what, 3
Gosh,
years?
yeah, wow, yeah, yeah,
So it's like we're still very much figuring those things out.
yeah. Or just
Um,
even improving over time. Yeah, and I think another thing about that idea that we're just now, kind of I realizing is your when you leave notes for me, you can do them a lot more shorthand than the way that you would reply with those same type of notes to the client, right? Like you can just
right,
say only if AM, no helium to me,
right,
and I will understand that and I will not care that you've said that to me in
right.
that way, but the client that wouldn't be a way that you would say something to the client. So,
Yeah, or even like, we don't like oh, a good example is colors. So I have a really narrow color chart, and sometimes people are like, "It has to be
yes.
pale pink, whatever, sparkly pink confetti balloons." Like, that is not something that Nicole feels comfortable being like, "Yes." Because I don't know, those that aren't on the color chart, you don't know what that means or entails or whatever. So that would be a note
Mhm.
where I could be like, "That's fine, we'll do that for her." Or like,
Right.
"No confetti balloons."
Yeah.
And I could just make a little note because like little things like that will keep you up. We can also chat about those in the chat, but sometimes I can see those from the beginning or someone will
Yeah.
send like a something that's just not going to work. They want like a foil display outside in the sun and I could check the yes, but like, yes, I'm available. We're
Mhm.
not doing this. Like pitch something else,
Yeah.
latex
Yep.
only, whatever. So I
Yeah,
think,
that's
yeah,
a good point. Oh my gosh, I didn't even say the color chart. I guess in my head, I pair them together, the product list and the color chart, but that's another great point
yeah,
because I mean, that's even more towards the design than the items themselves, like choosing colors that go well together and guiding the client through that is I feel even less confident in perhaps. So
yeah.
because your color chart is also nice and tidy, I've grown in confidence over time with that color choices too.
Yeah, you're
So
kind of almost now that I think about it, you're kind of almost like this customer liaison where it's like we set our websites and our businesses up to like function in a certain way. And then our customers don't get it. And like that's the biggest frustration point for balloon people. It's like, why can't they look at the color chart? Why can't they read a menu? Why don't they read the description and know how big this is?
Yeah.
You have versed yourself on all those things, and you're just kind of making sure they do read it. They do know the price. They do see the colors. They do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're having to do that with every single customer. So you're really just like, you're acting as a customer who gets it and then kind of translating. So it's,
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you have your systems set up and you have someone in place to literally just be like a translator, that's
Yeah.
how you could think of being a virtual assistant.
Yeah. I think that's
Cool.
a great point. Yeah. Because I'm not the artist, so I don't maybe overthink, the things
Yeah.
too.
That's a
Where I
benefit,
mean,
and that's one
yeah,
thing I wanted to clarify. You are never on, like, Pinterest or Instagram, like, you are not curating designs for people. When they're like,
no,
"Oh, we have an outdoor event, and we want it palm trees and, something kind of Hawaiian and blah, blah, blah." Your greatest trait is that you're like, I don't care. Do you want an arch and columns? Like, that is what keeps, I think, my
yeah,
business really, really profitable versus balloon people are like, "Ooh, Hawaiian theme. Here's a cool thing I've never done before, and I don't have any of these balloons, and I don't actually even know how to make it, but I'm gonna
mhm,
pitch this." And it's like, why are you doing that? Like, they want what they
yeah,
see on your website. They've already come to you, just sell. So you're selling the
yeah,
same stuff over and over and then
yeah,
putting in the colors. And every
yeah,
once in a while, you're like, throw something Hawaiian on there, like, "Ugh," you know?
yeah,
Well, that's how
yeah,
I think that's what makes you, and I would say any virtual assistant who's doing their job well, I think that's like a key asset is that they're
yeah,
not so bogged down in the creativity.
yeah, yeah. I think definitely like the Hawaiian theme, like if somebody mentions a very specific type of mylar that they would love to see, I'm always, you know, checking with you, is this even a thing?
Right.
Which apparently it is because there's like balloons of everything. But
Yeah. Yeah.
um, yes, I think that's a good thing to point out too. Is like I'm not like loosey goosey and like don't care what they order, but I also am like
You're
just
not emotionally
let's
invested.
right, right, and
Yeah.
I'm not thinking ahead to what it's going to be like to create the thing because I don't do it. So,
Right.
so just having that little bit of detachment from the actual order itself, I think makes it easier for me, more
Yeah.
efficient.
I think one of the best parts too, if you work by yourself, one of the best parts of having a virtual assistant is getting someone in there to see your client emails so you can be like, "What is wrong with this person?" Like, just having someone else be like, "It's not just me, right? Like,
Right.
what are they not getting?" I mean, it's rare, but, like, it is nice, and there are jobs and there are people that we both are like, "Oh," like, Nicole will
There
send me,
she
like, "Good
is.
luck."
She's
But,
back.
it is fun having a coworker when you never have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we are already at 30 minutes.
Ooh,
So I want to jump into the services that you do offer because you're not just doing sales. For me, you also edit this podcast and basically
I
make sure
do.
that the episodes are published. You're incredible. But you're also doing like my newsletter. You do that for a lot
Yeah.
of people. Why don't you
Yeah.
talk about the services? If someone's like, I need help, I don't know if I'm ready for like full on virtual assistant, you
Yeah.
can be hired, right? So, like, what are the things that you are offering to lots of people?
Yeah, yeah. So I do have to decline any offers to be a VA for anyone else. And that's mainly because, well, I don't have the capacity, but also like I just feel like if I were doing it for too many people, I would start mixing business policies and I just feel like I wouldn't be effective for anyone. So I'm always happy to like train a VA that you may
She's
have
like, "One's
hire.
enough, no more."
But yeah,
Oh, wait,
I
say that
don't.
again, though, I cut you off. You train
Oh,
VAs?
I'm always happy to.
That's amazing.
Like I've done that for a few people where, the owner doesn't really want to do the 17 hats part or this or that part. So if I can just help them understand what their system is, I'm always helpful or willing to like translate that to the VA.
Yes,
Um,
that's awesome.
so yeah, so the VA service for anyone else is offline. Um, Always ready and willing to help with 17 hats in any way. I'm in there all the time. And yeah, I do newsletters for a fair amount of clients as well. Um, that load is probably also full, but I made like a little membership. It's called the email balloon drop so that people can still get content
Oh, nice.
and not like feeling stuck. What do I
Like,
even
what to
say?
say. Yeah.
I know I need to do this. What do I say? Yeah, I just unfortunately can't take on anyone else. So I created that. Um, Yeah, those are the big ones, and then I'm also, like, been playing a lot with creating new things, like
Yeah.
tool.
Okay, I'm gonna promote you. We wanna talk about this new thing you're launching, but I think it's interesting because you work for so many different balloon companies, you kinda saw this need,
Yep.
and I have marquees, and we have been managing them just with, like, a shared Google sheet.
Uh-huh.
Um, but you saw this need to manage inventory, so why don't you promote your new product coming very, very soon?
Oh, well, thank you. Yes. Yeah, everyone just started asking, how do I keep track of what's out? The backdrops, the marquees, obviously being a key one because it's like such a, all the letters, all the numbers and things. And I played around with like, well, maybe we can make different calendars for the items, and or try this thing or that thing, and just none of them really I loved offering, so I was like, "You know what? I guess I'll just build it. I'll build it. I'll I'll figure this out." And so, yes, I'm launching it's called Asset Assign. It's going to be like this tool. It's literally I expect to invite my beta users like in the next couple of days,
That's
when we're
exciting.
recording this anyway. So it's just going to be like this really easy inventory tool for rentals only. I do want to specify that. So it's not like your consumable balloons, but um, for rentals. So you just type in the phrase that you need, happy birthday, and it'll just spit out, is this available or not on that date? So I'm really excited.
Does it save that? So say someone confirms and, like, they want June 1st, happy birthday. If someone
Yes,
else tries to rent happy birthday on June 1st, it tells you, like, "No, you already have that. It's gone."
correct. Yes.
Okay.
So it saves it. It even like I've got it set up so that even if you've marked it as pending, that first thing, we're going to prevent you from the possibility of double booking, so that even if you leave it as pending and you haven't confirmed that
Oh, that's good
reservation,
to know.
it's going to check against it. And then it has a bunch of statuses. It's got like pending, confirmed. It's going to sync with your Google Calendar, which is the thing that I'm waiting on, is
That's awesome.
authorization for that, or authentication, whatever that is. Um, and then on the day that things go out, confirmed events go out, there'll be, here are the items that are out. Here are the completed reservations. So it's going to alert you to say, okay, these items are still out, mark them as returned. And
Yeah.
until you mark them as returned, if they're sitting there unreturned for a week, they are not allowing you to make additional reservations
That's cool.
with
So
those items. So
is it just marquees, or could someone do, like, their arrow pole, like, $500 balloon arch kit? Can you add that in there?
you definitely can. Yeah. So the like baked in there are the letters, the numbers, and the symbols. Like so
Yeah.
the and the exclamation and everything. So you can just type those in. But then there's also a section for additional items where you
Oh,
can
cool.
customize your categories, and you can just say, here, I've got a bunch of chairs, I've got a bunch of backdrops, and you can just make your custom categories,
Yeah, it is.
framework, whatever.
I feel like the numbers and the letters, it's like I remember that they're out, right? Because 'Cause they're clearly missing, but, like, something like framework, like, I forget, and
Mhm.
I'm like, "Oh my god, I never took down that arch." Like, they still have my stuff, and it's been a month, and some of that
Yeah,
stuff costs money, or, like, even stuff that
yeah,
doesn't cost money, like your knot lamps, if you have 20 of those out there, that's a lot, and you can go
right.
around and pick them all up. That is really cool.
Yeah,
You
thanks.
obviously, I mean, you have so much to offer. You're teaching. Oh, well, let's promote Summit.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
We're both gonna be at Summit, kind of
yep,
teaching about this. I'm gonna
mhm,
be recording some podcast episodes. Nicole's teaching. We might do a little joint thing.
yep.
And, where can people find you?
LetNicoleHelp.com is the best place probably.
Yep.
Well, I guess I'm Instagram. I try to stay active on there at
And
Let
you're
Nicole
on
Help.
YouTube. You have a lot of tips on
I
YouTube.
am on YouTube. Yes, I need to get some more up there. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to publishing some videos about my new tool. But um, yes, also on YouTube, Let Nicole Help.
Let
Let Nicole Help
Nicole help.
anywhere.
Just let her
Yeah,
help you guys. She's
just
so
let
much
Nicole
better at all
help.
this stuff than all of us. But,
Yeah,
well, thank
yeah.
you for everything you've done in my business, and, for our whole community. So many people are so grateful
Gosh.
for what you've done, from setting up their 17 hats and, like, a one-time thing to ongoing support. You've just helped so many people in our community, and happy to have you on.
Oh my gosh. Well, I endless thank yous to you for introducing me to everyone. And I do want to just say too, because like if you were interested in the asset assign thing, make sure that you tell me that you heard about it on the Bright Balloon so that I can reward Sarah for
Oh gosh.
everything.
With breakfast. We meet for breakfast. Um, well, thank you for everything, and, can't wait to see you soon in real life next
Yeah,
week. We set
yeah.
up a brunch date before we started recording, so
Yep,
that's one of the
yep.
benefits of having your virtual assistant be not so virtual. You get to see
Yeah,
them.
IRL friend, yeah. Well,
Yes.
and Glow, will
Oh,
be a
yeah!
just
I
give a
totally
shout out
forgot.
to Glow as well.
Glow
I mean,
retreat, that's sold out in a couple minutes, but Nicole is also coming to
yeah,
teach systems at that retreat as well. So,
yeah,
she is available. Even if you can't hire her, you can continue learning from her. So,
yeah.
thank you so much, Nicole.
You're welcome, thank you.